Welcome to another edition of Our City. 1 week before Labor Day, when school will begin after Labor Day, we hope you all enjoy the last week of what is traditionally summer before the Labor Day holiday. On Monday, August 29th at 11 o'clock, I'm going to join the seniors of Elizabeth in a Hawaiian luau celebration. This event's going to take place at O'Donnell Dempsey Center on Salem Avenue, 622 Salem Avenue. For more information, call our Office of Seniors at 820-4045. And on Thursday, September 1st, 14 firefighters will be promoted to the rank of captain. This ceremony will take place in the council chambers on the third floor of City Hall. And last week's guest, Tom McNamara, the acting chief of the department, will be promoted to chief in the Elizabeth Fire Department. And just a reminder that next Monday, September 5th, City Hall will be closed in observance of Labor Day. If you need more information concerning these events or any other events, please call our Public Information Office at 820-4124. And for this week's show, I'm pleased to be joined by Miss Sylvia Howard and Mr. Julio Sabater, who are going to talk with us about social media and a new media journalist. Right, Sylvia?
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about yourself first, Sylvia. Tell us, who you are, what got you into this.
No problem. Thank you, Mayor, very much for inviting us to be part of your program. And we are very happy to be here, to be part of this program so we can talk about our project, what we have going on in Elizabeth right now.
You told me in the beginning of the show, though, that you're always happy just to be with Julio.
Yes.
Is that true, Julio?
Well, that's of course one thing that I was happy to, be with Julio, but my passion is journalism.
I know.
That's what I knew that I want to be a journalist.
Always.
Yes, and I was a journalist in Ecuador. Many people don't know because when you are immigrant, you have to start working in a different type of jobs, and they don't know sometimes that in your country, native country, you do another type of job. So when I was 16 years old, I started working as a journalist in Ecuador, in a radio station and a TV station in nationwide. And then when I moved here to the United States 10 years ago, so I finished working there and I moved here. So I was working for 8 years.
Well, the first mass Hispanic immigration in this city was probably from Cuba in the early 60s. Yeah. Which is, Julio, you're
here.
You're a little after the 60s, all right? When did you come here?
1971.
71. So, but the story you just told us, there were doctors and lawyers and teachers and professors who came here from Cuba and eventually got jobs as parking attendants or up a clothing store.
Like me, I was a waitress for so many years.
Right.
I was cleaning and I was doing dishes, serving people, always with a big smile. And I thinking about, I'm not going to be here always. This is something that is only for a moment, but I never stopped studying college. I studied 8 years straight, 4 years of English. Of course, I have my accent. Sometimes I make some little grammar.
Your accent's better than Julio's. He's been here longer.
I know. But I never stopped studying because I think that's the key for success, especially if you're women. You need to have a career. You need to develop that academic skills that you need to survive in life.
Now, Julio, you have a similar story, right? I mean, when you got here in 71, you were younger, but
yeah, I was.
But your parents had a similar story, right?
Right.
They didn't just fall into what they did in Cuba.
Right. And but when I came, I was younger, so I went to Cleveland. I went to Jefferson High School. I graduated from Jefferson High, and then I proceeded, higher degrees in college. But it's pretty much the same immigrant story. I mean, we come, we have to work hard. I used to work in a factory when I was 14 years old in Trumbull Street and go to school at the same time. So it was tough. It's tough when you come in the first few years, but as Sylvia said, if you work hard, you go to school, you prepare yourself, then you have the chance to realize the American dream, which is what this is about. This is realizing, number one, her American dream, and also mine, my second time around with the American dream, because already I have the school's workforce advantage and other ventures that I've done along my life. But for her, this is like it's our first baby. It's our baby.
You've been on the show talking about workforce advantage and your efforts in putting people to work and training the immigrant community. You've done a great job with that in our city.
Now for almost 25 years.
Right. But
25.
we're not going to spend a lot of time on that today,
No.
right? We're going to spend time out.
Yes.
Which is a great, in my opinion, a great topic, the way you framed what you do. You did Inside Out. It's very clever. Tell us about it.
Well, first thing, as I say, I love Julio, love my passion, but I love Elizabeth. Oh, since the first time that I came here, I love Elizabeth because it's so multicultural. It's everybody from different places. You want to eat whatever food you want for different country, you don't have to move to New York. You don't have to go there. It's here. If you want to talk to someone, and the history, oh my God, is so wonderful. I just got a meeting today. I went and talked to the pastor of the Presbyterian Church with Bob because I'm going to make a documentary.
Higgs. Reverend Higgs.
Yes. And it's so beautiful because he told me very briefly about the history of Elizabeth. And he told me that people don't know that New Jersey was born here in Elizabeth. And if you can help me to spread that around the nation, that would be great. And I say, sure, we're going to do it. So an Elizabeth Inside Out is a hyperlocal. People's gonna say, what is a hyperlocal? Because that term is very like new and is not easy to relate. Hyperlocal is local news, only a specific area. So the big news are in Trenton, right? If something happened here in Elizabeth, unless it's something big or a big fire or something that really make but Elizabeth, every single day we had good news. Elizabeth had festivals, has different, as I say, history. Also, Elizabeth has a lot of things to show to the world, and that's what we're trying to do in the hyperlocal. The hyperlocal tries to show all the information, all the local news that happen, and the information that concerns to the residents of Elizabeth. So if a resident is interested in something in particular, we try. It's not 100% yet because it's a project that is still going on, but we try to cover it. We try to satisfy the need that the people want to know about Elizabeth.
And how did you come up with the idea? Social media, and we're going to spend some time on that on the next week's show. But how did you come up with the idea? Were you sitting home one night? Did you figure this? It's because it's clever and creative. And so did it just come to you? Or did you develop it over time? What did you do?
Well, as a matter of fact, what makes us unique about being a hyperlocal is not that we are hyperlocal only. We are the first, and listen this very well, this is the first hyperlocal that is multicultural and multibilingual around the nation. There are a lot of hyperlocals, but they are in English as a first language, and they have no subtitles. They don't cover about minorities, but we do, because I think that is a need. Very important need. It's not only for Hispanic community, for Portuguese community, and also for Italian community, Haitian community, and any other community that we have here in Elizabeth. And the idea was, like, last year I was a student in Kent University, very proud. I graduated from Kent University. I love that university very much. And in one of the classes, we were developing projects, right? And I was like, oh, wow, it would be great if we have something in Spanish, I thought in the beginning, right? That show about Elizabeth, because Elizabeth is so intriguing, so beautiful. So let me think about what can I do? And then I start writing a project. I show it to my professor, and he's, oh, good, great, change this, do this, do this, do this. But I didn't know that I actually was writing about a hyperlocal. I didn't know that the concept exists already when this hyperlocal started with the New York Times. But I didn't know that exists, this concept. I was writing it, and then I presented to the professor, and he said, it's pretty good, Sylvia. When you graduate, why you don't go for it? I say, okay, let me see what I can do, because I didn't know anything about website, how to develop a website, how to do anything. What I knew is how to tell stories as a journalist, how to take video, but I didn't know anything about technology. And unfortunately, in college, they don't teach you. It's because it's so new, and it's developing still, that whatever you learn today, tomorrow is not good anymore. And then is this, when I graduate in December, I was like, okay, what am I gonna do now with this? I'm gonna go and work in New York as a reporter, or the local channels in Spanish, or I really gonna take, like, in the arena,
the challenge,
and do it. And I say to myself, Sylvia, come on, you you've been in your life overcoming a lot of things. Why you don't do this? And then I started looking in the internet, looking for research. I was researching, looking for different organizations that can help entrepreneurs to make their projects reality. So I stumbled with the International Center for Hispanic Journalism, that is the biggest organization worldwide that protects journalists, and they have a specific project for Hispanic journalists. This project was about multimedia, how to become a leader for Hispanic journalists in multimedia, a training. And I was like, wow, I want to apply for it. When I read everything, I was like, oh my God, I don't think that I have chances because I just graduated. I don't speak the English very well. This is crazy because they're professional people, producers from CNN, from Fox, ABC, that are participating. How am I gonna have a chance there? I said, okay, let me see, I can try. I try. When I tried, I sent my proposal, right? Then after I sent my proposal, I sent a couple of my works that I done, and then I received an email 2 weeks later. You being accepted to participate in this scholarship. I was like, I call and say, because the base is in Washington. I say, excuse me, are you sure this not? I said, really? Yes, you're gonna start. I said, okay, thank you. And I was like, oh my God, I started crying because they pay you everything. You had to go to California.
Oh, they foot the bill.
Everything.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they pay you the whole training,
okay.
the ticket, then they pay you another training. So it's different steps, different levels, right? So we were a pool like 300 people. They only picked 60 to be part of the training. We went to the training. They teach me. That was, I think, the key. When I send the project, they teach me how to do it, how to develop a web page, how to work with WordPress, how to do a storytelling, how to do a slideshow, how to interview people, everything. And they told me everything online. So everything online. I never actually met my professor, right? So from those 60 people, they narrowed down to 13. From those 60 people, they picked the best. Now we are 13, and I'm part of it. Again, I thought it was a mistake because the producer from Anderson Cooper was not there, and I was like, okay. So then, now we 13 are still competing, and this project is a part of it because the competition is based in the project, in the proposal you submit. So after that, they're gonna select only 8 people. And it's money involved, of course, a grant. At the end, they're going to give you, whoever wins the best project, they're going to give you some money involved. But that's not my motivation.
Your project is Inside Out.
Correct. My project is Inside Out. And every single day, I have my coach, and I have my different professors that now I know because I went to University.
But we want you to win.
Of course.
Yeah.
I went to University of California for a training for 1 week. And now we're going to Washington for another training. That is the final training, and hopefully Elizabeth Inside Out is going to win. That's what I think. Because
so you went from 60 to 13, and now
from 300.
From 300
to 60.
To 60, and now to 13, and you're one of the 13.
Yes, and now I'm gonna go down to the 8, and from those 8, I'm gonna be the first one.
Oh, that's how it works.
Yes.
This is, and they foot the bill for all of this.
All of this.
It's a foundation. It's a foundation that is paid for by
McCormick Foundation, the Knight Foundation, and
so Julio, does she bounce some of these ideas off of you, or is she just She sounds very headstrong to me that she's just moving forward with it.
Yeah.
So are you playing a role in any way, shape, or form?
Well, basically, yeah, I'm kind of like catching up with her, and I've been infected with all her enthusiasm and
we love it.
And also the nature of the project, because I love Elizabeth. I was raised here, and I'm working more on the business end of the project. I mean, we want to make it a commercially viable, sustainable, not just for the event. I mean, that she's competing with, but to make it commercially viable, so we can continue with the project for years to come. I think a city like Elizabeth can use Elizabeth Inside Out, because our vision, and this is something that we have built together, is to celebrate Elizabeth, is to celebrate the past, the present, and the future of Elizabeth. because Elizabeth is a great town, it's a great city. We want to celebrate the diversity. We want to celebrate our business community. We want to celebrate all the wonderful things that are happening in Elizabeth all the time. Even for me, I've been rediscovering Elizabeth as I go on with this project.
Like the first